Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got more riding, more training today on the new bike. The nationals are creeping up on us, so it's time to go into full-on training mode, so that's exactly what we're doing today. But for the very first time, we're gonna be doing some testing on the new KTM 450, and yes, Bridget is with us today, so I know you guys will be excited about that. But yeah, as you guys know, the bike has been pretty much in stock form ever since I got it, apart from the cone valve forks and the Race Tech revalve and suspension setting changes that they did for me, and then other than that, we just did a set of pro taper bars. Other than that, the bike has been completely stock, and it handles amazing. I love the way it handles, but I have been itching for just a little bit more power, and that's exactly what we're gonna be striving for today. So on our bench here, we have a Vortex ignition. If we take a look in the box here, we'll see our little bubble wrapped ignition in there, and you guys can see it was programmed by Twisted Developments. You guys are probably already familiar with Twisted Developments. They're a pretty well-known engine building company out in California. They've done a lot of work on pro bikes and a lot of like amateur, like fast amateur bikes and stuff, and they've actually done some work for me on some of my bikes in the past. So I've heard that the ECU really wakens this thing up, and you can actually get like up to 3 more horsepower out of it just by doing an ECU and a tune. The Twisted Development guys always do a really good job, so I'm excited to try that out today. As always, you guys know, I'll go out there and do a moto with the stock ECU and get some footage, and then I'll throw the Vortex on and get some footage from that, and I'll let you guys know my feedback, and hopefully you guys will be able to tell just from listening to the bike that it's going to make a big difference. So yeah, very excited to try that out because I've been itching for just a little bit more power out of this thing, and hopefully the Vortex is going to do it for us. This video will be like a vlog of us going through the day and doing the testing and stuff. It'll be mostly just third-person footage from the lovely B unit back there. But of course, you guys know I'll also throw the GoPro on for both sessions on the stock ECU and the Vortex, and I'll do like a lap time comparison, and that'll be in the next video that I upload. So if you guys are just interested in raw lap times, you can look forward to that. But in the meantime, enjoy this vlog. I'm gonna get dressed and head out there and get testing, make this thing a little bit faster. Bridge, the day is just starting. You can't be this tired already. You got work to do.
No.
Okay, we're geared up and ready to head out there for Moto 1. Like I said, stock ECU. I forgot to mention where we're at today though. We are out at MX Express, one of my favorite local tracks here, and the track is really rough because they had an open ride last night, and they don't groom the track until their next open ride, which is in another few days here. So we came out the day after their open ride, and I like to do that because obviously the track is really rough, and that's the type of training that I need. This first session, stock ECU, we're gonna go out there and learn where all the braking bumps and the ruts are, and then we will swap that ECU over and test out the Vortex. So very excited about that. Let's throw the Alpine Star helmet, the GoPro on, and shred some motos today. Here you go, Bridge.
Camera me.
I gotta put my earplugs in still. Alright guys, so there's Moto 1 done. That was just like a warm-up 15. I'm gonna chill here for a minute, put the Vortex ECU on, and then go back out. The track is way gnarlier than I thought it was gonna be. I think they actually got some rain yesterday, like in the morning before the practice, and then it must have just got really rough from all the people who were here yesterday. So it's sick out there, really good training, super rough, and the ruts are like rock hard and pretty deep. So good training, feeling a little bit like a goon out there, but whatever, it's good training. We're gonna go ahead and throw the Vortex ECU on and go out there for the next moto, and we'll see if there's any difference. Very excited to test it out, and yeah, so let's chill for a minute and then head back out there. All right guys, so we're just checking out the directions here. It looks like they put 10 different map modes on this, and these numbers over here correspond to right here. You can see the arrow is pointing at 1 right now, and on the sheet that says that that's the one that makes the best power and torque on the dyno. We put it in map 1 on the handlebars, map 1 on the ECU, so that's what we're going to go out and run, because that's like definitely the one that is set up for pro riders. So we're gonna throw this little unit in the bike and then go shred, and Bridget's gonna get some more footage. Okay, Bridget Marie is gonna be our mechanic today.
You just hover on my middle name?
Yeah. Okay, take the seat off. Yup, get in there.
Oh.
Nicely done. Here's the unit we're switching out. So just take the little rubber cover off and then unplug it and pop it out of there.
How do you get your fingers in here?
I don't. I make you do it.
I don't know how.
You got the other one.
What? There was room over there.
Probably just pull it.
Oh. Well, maybe tell me that.
Okay.
Now what?
Now press where it says press and unplug it. Nicely done. Okay. Now put that unit back on. Oh my goodness. It says to put it in map 1. There you go. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, B unit, Bridget did a fantastic job putting that in. We switched it over to map 1, which is what the little piece of paper tells us to use. So yeah, now we're gonna head out there for a moto on the Vortex ECU. Now, whenever I've done this in the past on my 250s, the biggest thing that I noticed was that the rev limiter goes up like, I'm not sure, like 1500 RPM or something like that. So I think the biggest place I'm gonna notice it is coming down these front straightaways right here, where on the stock ECU, I was kind of like running out of second gear coming down them, but the straightaway was short enough that it didn't really make sense to shift up to third, because I'd be in third for like literally 2 seconds before I shifted back down. So I think that's where I'm gonna notice it the most, coming down there. I'm hoping that the rev limiter allows me to just keep pulling that gear all the way down without having to shift. The rest of the track is pretty tight, where having a bunch more power isn't gonna make a huge difference, but what I'm looking for in those corners is to see if it has retained that really smooth feel that I really loved about the stock ECU, because like I said, I mean, that's one thing that I absolutely love about this bike is how smooth the power band is. So I wanna make sure that messing with the tune doesn't mess with the smooth characteristics. So gonna be looking for that higher RPM and retaining that smooth feeling while just getting a little bit extra horsepower out of it. So let's get it. Well, there we go. Moto done with the Vortex ECU. I don't know how easy it's gonna be for you guys to tell just from the third-person footage, but wow, what a difference that makes. Like I said, the biggest spot I notice it is on these long front straights right here. Whereas like with the stock ECU, I was just running out of second gear. And that's something kind of interesting about the KTM is that it's geared really, really long. So on a track like this, I think I'm in second gear the entire track, which is pretty crazy. I think on the Honda, I would have been like shifting between third, maybe dip down to second once or twice, and then maybe even hitting fourth on some of these long straights. But this thing's geared so long that I'm in second gear for like, yeah, the whole track. I don't think I shift at all. And with the stock ECU, I was hitting rev limiter like maybe halfway down these front two straights right here, and like along the whoops too. I tried shifting up like once or twice through the whoops, and I don't know, it just wouldn't pull that next gear, but it was hitting rev limiter in second. This, I feel like, I mean, maybe the rev limiter is so high that it's like it's bouncing off the rev limiter so fast that I don't even notice it hitting it, or I just haven't even hit it yet coming down these two straights. Guys, it feels like it just keeps pulling and pulling, which is super awesome. This thing already had a lot of good torque, but I feel like it just, like I've been saying I wanted it to do, increase the power like 10 to 15% across the entire range, and I feel like it did that perfectly. So yeah, another big thing is that it didn't seem to like negatively impact the power delivery like I was saying before, and all those really tight ruts and stuff. It still felt really smooth, if not even like smoother. It just feels super nice and super planted through there, and yeah, I think it's really, really good. Like I said, there's 10 different map settings, and you guys could see like what all of them stood for and all that stuff. So I'll definitely be testing those out over the next couple of weeks before the Nationals to kind of figure out which one's best in which scenario and everything like that. Maybe on a day like today, one of the traction control ones would have been really good, but very excited about it. It definitely gave this thing that little kick that it needs. I still think it could use a little more for qualifying practice at Pro Nationals. It's super, super deep and sloppy. Pretty much every bike feels slow out there. So we're gonna test out the side cover with the holes in it that come with the factory edition. Still haven't tried that out, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on eventually. I think we're gonna test out some exhausts, but I've heard the Akrapovic can choke it down a little bit. But beyond that, super happy with it. I think it is worth mentioning, I'm not sponsored by Vortex or Twisted Developments. I know you guys know that I'm gonna give the same review whether a company helps me with a product or not. I'm gonna critique them just as hard, and I'm gonna be 100% truthful with you guys. But yeah, we paid full retail for the ECU and the tune, so there's absolutely zero biasness going on here. Just really like the Vortex ECU. Love running them. Twisted Developments does a great job. Kudos to those guys. And yeah, really happy with it. Excited to try it out on a deeper track. Obviously today it was pretty hard pack, so I didn't need a whole ton of extra power, but definitely excited to try it out maybe in some sand, or if it rains here coming up, we'll try it out in some mud or something. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. As always, thank you very much, Bridget, behind the lens, getting all the footage, doing all the hard work out there. Hope you guys like this video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys.